Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I will just start with a very short introduction of the web development program, and with some few pictures also, of course. Rural development program is mainly working with the rural people to address the raising poverty and improve the living conditions of the poorest and most vulnerable people. This is the aim that rural development, as one of the four major programs of SCA, is working. We are working in four major areas so that to reach to the aim. The first area is about the livelihood, to improve the livelihood of our target groups in the rural areas, where we simply start with forming some saving groups, and then among them introduce some producer groups, and then this as an entry point, and then work with them to capacitate them with some vocational training, and of course, these saving groups are for men and women, where the percentage of women is more than men. It means we have 56% of saving group for women out of the total. The second area is about the disaster risk reduction in climate change adaptation, which of course is a very burning issue in many countries, including Afghanistan. Rural development in this area is mainly capacitate people, capacity building of people, awareness to mitigate disasters and climate change, and also some small infrastructure like some check dams, some degraded land rehabilitation, providing retaining walls, etc. So these are some watershed projects, some small agriculture and irrigation projects are the main intervention in this area, so that to reduce disaster risks and also adapt with the climate change. The third area is about the capacity building of the community-based organizations and civil society organizations. We are working with them so that to enhance participation of our target group. Here, we are working mainly with CDCs, for example, local shuras and elders, these people. So CDCs are the main community-based organizations that we are working with. And of course, this working with CDCs in this current situation is challenging because there are some confusions with the de facto authorities about CDCs, although they have recognized, they are accepting that CDCs as a important setting in the rural area is needed, but they have some comments. The fourth area that we are working in the capacity building of duty bearers, so that our target group reach their demands. So in this area, we are closely working with the de facto authorities. We have very close cooperation. We are in contact with them so that to raise their awareness, so that they know what Swedish committee is and why we are here, what we are doing. So some technical knowledge giving them, some skills training, interaction with the rights holders, these things. So these are the main activities that we are working in this 4 area so that to reach the aim. You see in the picture, the first picture, if you see, this is one of the women producer groups whose their capacity has been built in making this locally made some clothes, and they have their own small business at their home. As you know, particularly in rural areas, women have limited possibilities to go out and work. So with this program, they have their own business, small business at their home. So they have their income. Here, the picture, you see participation, how the local communities and CDCs are involved. Although it is now challenging, it is difficult, like it's seen in the picture, to collect women and men together. So of course, this is one of the picture from the previous. Community peoples and CDCs are one way or the others involved in our program. The other picture you see is a project of watershed disaster risk reduction, where people are making trenches and put some plantation. So the last picture is about working with local authorities, coordination meeting. So these are something that has been shown just in the picture. Coming to the other components of the rural development program, which is contributing to other strategic areas like strategic area 1.
Scheme projects.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Just
Okay. So the other components are about water sanitation and hygiene education. So we provide safe drinking water through pipe scheme projects. Before it was through shallow wells, where we have constructed around 15,000 wells in the past years. But now, since 2007-8, we have started with the pipe water. So this is the components which contribute to the first strategic area of the Swedish Committee, through wash and hygiene education, and also some community-led total sanitation. Another component is in infrastructure, which is school, clinics, and resource centers, and also physical rehabilitations that rural development is implementing for the rest of the program as per their need and availability of the budgets. We have had around 50 different type of construction projects in last year, in 2022. And of course, there are some target groups also that who benefited from our activities, like in livelihood. We had 269,000 people, out of which 140 were women, so more than 50%. The same target groups who benefited the projects in WASH is also, you see, 50% is more than 50% of women. And the same in health clinic and education in school. So these were the people who benefited from the project last year. Coming to the last slide, it is about the current situation in the country, particularly about women. Of course, it is a challenging situation. I think the most challenging situation now in Afghanistan about women is the current situation. Women are working from home since, of course, we all know, since December. Our women colleagues are working from home, while as you are aware that luckily we have had some women staff back in the office who are working with in health related activities, and also other staff associated to them that they are supporting them, like in finance, HR, and also services staff. So that is a good news. In the field, the main approach is whom field whom. It means our field staff are going to the field and coming back to home rather than to go to the office because of the ban on women work. But still, this is not the situation in all our coverage areas. There are some areas where even whom to field and field to whom is not allowed. And we are in communication with them. And they still are not agree to have our even field level staff, which are local facilitators, community mobilizers, trainers, to be at work. But anyhow, we have in the majority areas, we have our field level staff working. Of course, pause in engagement is the main way that we follow, and just we are looking for a local situation where there is some problem. So this is the main approach that we are going with, and so far, a majority of our activities with women staff and also target groups involved is going on, luckily, with the local permission by the local authorities. We have some activities that are put on hold. We are waiting that whether we will be allowed to work for both or not. Some others are majority are going on where there is no any discrimination. Both male and female are involved, and also some suspension of some activities where women are not allowed. For example, formation of saving group in Ghazni is suspended, but in general it is not suspended. But there, since they do not allow so far, so that is suspended. The most burning issue of the burning of Holy Quran in Sweden recently was another challenge, as we all know, that affect not only women staff but also men staff also. And so we are very cautious. We are some measures were taken. Sometimes we were working from home, and now in some areas like in the east, although our activities are going on, but there is a risk. So this is another challenge that we are facing with. So these were the overall situation, and if there is any question or you need more clarification, I will try to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very interesting. Do we have any questions? You can raise your hand. Yeah, Klaus, go ahead.
Thank you, Shafiullah, for a good presentation. In the last 20 years, the Community Development Councils, CDCs, have developed a lot. They've become a really important local structure for implementing and for decision making. In many communities, women and men cannot sit together in these CDCs, and in those cases, there's often been female only CDCs to ensure female participation and decision making, and women's priorities in decision making. Now, my question to you is, you mentioned that the Taliban have begun to recognize the importance of CDCs and the role of CDCs. Is that also the case when it comes to female participation in the CDCs? Do you know anything about how this has affected female CDCs throughout the country? Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, it is a critical question. CDCs, as I said, the Taliban have not started to recognize now, but they have already they have accepted, and they are accepted CDCs as a local organization, an important organization, and they say these are the organizations that we need them, but they have some concern and they have some objection on the mainly on the members because of they gave some examples of some corruption cases within these committees at local level, and also talking about some capacities, these things. So they say they need to thoroughly review all the CDCs in terms of their membership, and will soon decide that who will be the member in the CDCs. So this is one of the advocacy area with us as a rural development program that we are following up with the Ministry of Rural Rehabilitation and Development. So we have had couples of meetings on this issue, and they are saying that they have developed a new guideline for CDCs. It means that they accepted that CDC should be there, but they have developed a guideline which shows for example, criteria for membership, maybe their activities, these things. And they said that they have just put it on the supreme leader for approval, and this is something that they are speaking since 6-7 months, but still they say that they have not approved it. While when you ask them, as you know, the de facto authority, the Taliban has a very centralized government. So once you ask the minister or deputy minister or some directors, they say about women participation or women membership, they say we can say nothing, but this is the decision which will come from our supreme leader, that whether he will be agree to have women as a member in the CDCs or not. So they are not going to say anything about the women membership. Although the current structure, the CDCs, they have their previous women and also men. And our field staff, they are reaching for some purposes. Like, for example, when we implement a WASH project or some other, we get consultation, but in a way that our field staff, like hygiene promoters or local facilitators, they receive their ideas and involve them, and they have not so far announced that the current CDCs are dismissed or women are not part of the current CDCs, but they are talking about some improvement and also some changes in the CDCs. So this is the current situation, and now they are accepting that any NGO, including Swedish committee, if they want to involve CDC's member in their activities, they are doing. We are doing, for example. So this is the situation about CDCs so far.
So I take it that women are still, in reality, at least somewhat involved in.
Yes. But for example, you cannot collect them together with men or somewhere in a larger form. But you can consult them, or women staff can involve them. They involve them and in money in several activities, and they are the members. But although all the CDCs, as you know, have been affected, some of the members have, for example, left the country. Some of them have died, and these things which need to be reactivated. But mainly CDCs are there, and they are still, as a local setting, has not been totally rejected by the de facto authorities.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any more questions? Don't think so. No? Well, thank you very much for your presentation. Yeah, we really appreciate it that you could participate. And have a good evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.